every Madden player asks.
Mm-hmm.
He says, how do I overload Blitz and play good coverage? Last year, think about it. Think about last season. You couldn't really blitz until the end of the year when you found ways to send 3 and 4 blitzers and protect the outside. Last year, if you overload blitzed, you were then technically one-on-one downfield and you got hit with the deep ball.
Right.
It wasn't until we could play 2-man under and still send pressure that the meta became about the blitz, and that was at the far end of the year. This year, it's even different. But Gibbs, you got a blitz for us, and then how do you at least mix up your coverages, or what do you do to make sure, you know?
Yeah, so nickel 2-4-5, we talked about very early that this was one of the best plays in the game just because you don't have to do anything to get pressure from it. Like, you could call it, set it and forget it, send 5, and you're going to get pressure off that left edge as long as they're not blocking anybody, right? So, snap of the ball, like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to do anything. Just go. Like, you're seeing how we're going to get, the pressure's going to come in off that left edge. A lot of times it does come clean. Let me just give it a baseline press. Like, let me just give it that, right? So, snap of the ball. Pressure comes in off that gap. That's very consistent and as close as to like do nothing as possible to get consistent pressure. So what I've now kind of decided the way I want to now play this game is like I used to always go, I'm going to find a stock coverage, like a cover 3, and I'm going to make my own blitz out of it. But now my issue with that is I'm ruining the run fits. So I use those base cover 3s as my run defense. And then I look at these like stock design blitzes that have appropriate run fits built in, where I can have a blitz here and look at I have my forced defender over here, but I know I'm going to get pressure off the left edge. Right. So remember last week we talked about how important that is. So now I have a different philosophy of how I want to play the game. So I'm going to come out in the buck slant, right? That's my blitz. Well, now when I see I think you're in run, I'm probably going to audible to. I'm not going to stay in that. I'll probably audible cover 3, and then I'm going to have my fully fledged run defense ready to go, right? So with this my example, like a great way to play coverage, what I'm seeing the best players in the world do is they're doing something like they're making adjustments to the play. Then they're taking their deep safeties here and they're manning them up on the interior receivers.
Yep.
And then the inside or the rest of the coverage looks a lot like this: hooks and buzzes and deep zones. So and then you have like whatever your base coverage is underneath. You know this guy's blitzing, but
so this way you aren't necessarily giving up the flat,
right?
Like you thought you were,
right? Because
you make that adjustment where if you're blitzing off that left side, generally the flat is going to be uncovered. But what you're saying is by manning them up or changing up your coverage, you're going cover 2 or whatever. You make that adaptation,
right? So you could say like I'm gonna blitz. Let's see, Hayward like. Overload blitz, like a great way to do it this year's game is to send 3 defenders at one point. So you need to look at the play art. So right here you can see Jones is going to the right tackle, Morgan's going to the right tackle, and then my slot corner Woodyard, or I've moved him out to linebacker, he's going to that corner as well. So in this instance I could move Arakpo off the line. So in this instance I could go man up the slot here, man up here. And then I have like a buzz over here. I'd play this, and this is kind of the idea of like what I'm seeing people do. Like pressure off the edge. I got 2 buzzes, and then I got 1 hook, and I'm usually the hook.
So you're only
you
rushing
understand
4,
that base shell, like so the interior of the field run in streaks. Like they're going to be manned up.
Right.
The outside guys are most likely going to run verticals. They're manned up. But then my underneath shell of coverage is 2 buzzes and a hook, which. Two buzzes and a hook do a pretty good job at defending most routes. So like even if you ran crossing patterns, like a mesh concept, like on the outs, like let me set it up like this, right? Let's go. Let's do this here. Okay, so this is the setup I have, right? Run Norwood and Green on verticals. Now run Thomas and Sanders on drags. I'm gonna defend Thomas and what's cool about this is I can play underneath here. Or I could play over the top, and I'm not too worried about like you getting behind me with a corner because I got manned up guys. Right. So underneath coverage here, I'm gonna feel pretty confident. I'll defend that mesh pattern. Like I'm here, and then like you got to go to someone, and then now I got buzzes there.
Right.
See how that's working? How that's
pretty nice.
Yeah.